The thickest? Who's most likely to get arrested? Who's the craziest? Who's the most popular? Who gets the most attention from other guys? Who has the best taste in guys? Who's the sensitive one? Who's the meanie? Who's the prettiest? Who's the best at advice? Who's the best dancer? Who's got the best style? Who's the smartest?
This is 1112 King Road. The house who has the real audio heard from 1120 to King Road. This house also has video surveillance, but none have been released yet.
The drama stuff that much.
Yeah.
She wasn't into that. She just liked having fun. Wasn't worried about materialistic things. She was with her friends all the time. I heard from her even before we went out. I think midnight was the last time we heard from her, and she was fine. I had no idea. I was like, it doesn't make sense. The door locks with the number code. Every time you open it, like I had to go back to I had to go around the house to get in the house because of the number code. So they either knew that or they just kind of went around and found the slider open. They were just hanging out at home.
Yeah.
Xana was hanging out at home with her boyfriend. Things that her and Ethan were together about a year, give or take some, whatever. But she really, when I went up there, I saw her just a week before that. She changed a lot. She had a life. She got to see what it was to have a boyfriend to live with and have a real life. And she really turned around and was the drama stuff that much.
Yeah.
She wasn't into that. She just liked having fun. Wasn't worried about materialistic things. She was with her friends all the time. I heard from her even before we went out. I think midnight was the last time I heard from her, and she was fine. I had no idea. I was like, it doesn't make sense. The door locks with the number code. Every time you open it, I had to go back to I had to go around the house to get in the house because of the number code. So they either knew that or they just kind of went around and found the slider open. They were just hanging out at home.
Yeah.
Xana was hanging out at home with her boyfriend. Things that her and Ethan were together about a year, give or take some, whatever. But she really, when I went up there, I saw her just a week before that. She changed a lot. She had a life. She got to see what it was to have a boyfriend to live with and have a real life. And she really turned around and was the drama stuff that much.
Yeah.
Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. This is for education purpose solely. This is the case of the Idaho quadruples. May the 4 victims rest in peace, condolence to their families, and may the correct justice be served. It's been 2 years, a bit over 2 years, since this horrific unalivings happened. We hope and pray we get the correct justice for these victims. Today I'd like to talk about Zana. May she rest in peace. From the very beginning of this case, I personally found it very important that Xana had her locks either fixed or repaired with the help of her father. A week before the horrific unalivings. Was there something going on inside the house? Was there any kind of harassment? Could it have been because of the alleged stalker that Kaylee could have had, which would make sense with the injuries Kaylee endured, this horrific unalivings? Could it be just possible that Xana was having maybe issues with one of the roommates, especially DM? Allegedly, the reason I ask is you have to think about it in each and every angle. They both share the second floor. In the beginning, we were told that DM was at the first floor. So from the very beginning of this case, before it was even put on gag order, nothing made sense. What if Xana and DM were having some disagreements, maybe arguments over maybe missing things from Xana's room, or maybe Xana didn't feel like she and Ethan had any time and proper space. The living room was in the second floor. The reason I say this is because let's not forget, Xana used to work with Maddie and they were very close. And it didn't seem like Xana and Kaylee could have had any issues. DM was one of the last roommates to rent a room in the house. Could this have been about fights that escalated and went too far? I don't believe it's only one single motive or one target. I believe all four were the targets with four different motives, or maybe two motives. There was a lot of anger from the Sigma Chi fraternity towards their fellow brother, Ethan. And Xana was obviously together with E. So something was definitely going on. The timelines of the couple was always in doubt. We never got the correct answers. The timeline of Kaylee and Maddie is wrong too. Kaylee and Maddie came home at 1:56 a.m. and not 1:45 a.m. 11 minutes makes a big difference. Could have happened in that 11 minutes to Maddie and Kaylee. Today I want to focus a bit about Xana. Because I was listening to the interview of what Xana's father said. Xana was home that night, he said. So how long was Xana home? We know that the triplets went to the Betty ball. Hunter, Maisie, and Ethan. Where was Xana? Between 8 to 9. And how come there was no picture taken of Xana and Ethan? We saw Maddie and Kaylee at the grub truck, let's not forget. So something doesn't add up with the Sigma Chi fraternity timeline, because we saw the four figures running, clearly. So are we supposed to just delete everything from our head that we saw? The four figures running? Let's not forget Saeed was friends with Xana and E. So was Hunter Johnson. So was DM and Bethany Funk. They all were holding the yellow furry animal. So was it about some jealousy, revenge, something gone wrong? Was it about allegedly David L. on steroids? What could have happened? Xana, Bethany, and DM are kind of connected they have connections partying together. Maddie and Kaylee are more seniors. And I believe Maddie and Kaylee had their own enemies. I'll talk about that later. I wanted you all to pay attention to what Xana's mother said. And don't forget, Xana's mother, although the poor woman, may God bless her, has her own fights going on in her life, she definitely heard everything from Jasmine, Xana's sister. So the questions she asks Ashley Banfield is the questions I've always wondered. Where were the surviving roommates and why didn't they call for help? We all have been asking the same things. But what is interesting is the mother clearly says that Xana's father came and helped her to change her locks, and they had codes on their locks. So what happened that night? What happened 1 week before? Why did Xana need to fix her locks or change her locks? Was there some kind of concern at the property, especially the second floor? What was exactly going on inside that house? This was 1 month before the unalivings. I know it was a Halloween event in the house or something, but yet pictures tell a lot. Could DM have felt bullied? That's my question. DM looks so sad. Exhausted, intoxicated, obviously. I wonder if she's been put on a time out. The reason I'm paying attention to all these things is they can be very relevant in a case, or they could absolutely have nothing to do with it. I wouldn't be surprised if the two surviving roommates knew what was going on or could have allegedly been involved. I'm saying this after 2 years. Anything is possible because the timeline doesn't make sense. The story doesn't make sense. DM's room is closest to Xana's room. She would have heard 2 people being unalived. I hate to say that. This doesn't make sense. What are they hiding? This was 1 month before the unalivings. And we saw how many times the police went knocking at the door. How come the police never reported them to the dean? They could have saved their lives. They could have evicted them from the house. At least the 4 victims would have been alive. I believe this was more than BK. This was more the BK. Even if BK was involved, I believe the people who did it were the four figures running. And Maddie and Kaylee had the whole grub truck looking at them. But today I want to focus on Xana a bit. Dylan's VSCO page had a photo with a boyfriend. That is obviously Quinn Kelly. They both were wearing ski masks. The photo was removed. And it seemed to be around the house at the time of the unalivings from Snapchat. Would you be surprised if these people was watching the unalivings on Snapchat or some group chat? That's the reason these pictures with the mask went viral in the beginning. I know there's a lot of conspiracy things that come out of social media, but they're things that you have to ask yourself twice. How come so many people, the college students, were saying there were people with ski masks that were seen in front of the house between 3 to 3:30? There's a lot of movements going on from 2 a.m. But Quinn Kelly said he's never been to Moscow either. But is DM trying to tell us she didn't hear the couple being unalived and Kaylee and Maddie right above her and the couple beside her? The house makes a lot of creaky noises. I believe this was all planned, pre-planned, and I believe that many people are involved. The 4chan seems to make the most sense for me up to today.
Nodal's mom, Kara Denise Northington, is on the phone with me now. Kara, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Can I just ask you off the bat how you are getting by in this terribly sorrowful time?
Not very easily, not good. I mean, I don't know how to think of that.
I can't even imagine the pain that you and your family are going through. Have the police been helpful to you, Kara, to understand some of the things they can and can't say?
Honestly, no. Honestly, no. They haven't said anything. I learn more on the news and on TV than they have said to me. There's so much more that can be done that has not been done. And I just know that there's GPS, NASA, to find out who went into that home that night. I know that. Why hasn't that been looked into? Why hasn't that been accessed?
Kara, can I ask you that there is a mysterious sort of 4-hour and 45-minute block of time that's unaccounted for by the police timeline. The police say that your daughter Zana and her boyfriend Ethan were at the Sigma Chi house from 8 until 9 p.m., but then they don't have any information on where they were from 9 p.m. till 1:45 a.m. Do you know anything about that from either your information from the police or Ethan's family or anybody?
I may be candid in saying this, but I think that they were at a bar.
And where do you get that information from? Did someone tell you that they'd gone from the Sigma Chi house to a bar before they ended up home?
That's their father conveyed to me that he thought that they were at the bar at that night. So, yeah, I mean, that's what college kids do on the weekends. So.
But you don't know for sure that they left the Sigma
I don't
Chi
know
house,
for
went to a
sure.
bar.
I
Okay.
don't know for
And-
sure, absolutely not.
And have the police asked you any questions about where Xana might have been, or if she texted you, or if she had, if she communicated with any family members in that period of time?
No, no answers whatsoever. Whatsoever, really. I asked the investigators when they come and spoke to me. They were not able to offer me any answers. None.
Can I?
If you pay attention to the second floor, it's easy to see that you have the slider there behind and the kitchen. You have the bedroom C that belongs to or was used by Dylan Mortensen. You have the living room there, and then you have Xana's bedroom. I always believe that Xana could have been chilling or watching TikTok with friends at the living room. The reason I say that is there was a lot of these drinking plastic college cups, the red ones, and a popcorn bowl, big bowl, was lying on the table. Everything was frozen in time. Then you had the 3 unidentified male DNAs. So if somebody was chilling with them in the living room, and if they already pre-planned this, then somebody could have come from downstairs. Everyone had the code to this house. Let's not forget that. That's what Kaylee Congalvis' sister said too, Olivia. The sliding door was left open. We've seen strangers even partying in the house, so you can imagine how many other people's DNA are actually in this house. DM would have heard everything that happened that night. Look at the living room. It's close to her bedroom. And yes, when she said in the affidavit she heard Xana crying, whimpering, and she rests in peace, and she heard somebody saying, "I'm here to help," that could have been Jack John Showalter allegedly, or Jack D allegedly, or Hunter. Where was Hunter and Emily that night? Just asking questions. Where was everyone that night? Did the police take DNA of everyone? I'm not a person who says that BK is completely innocent or completely guilty. He could be innocent and he could be completely guilty, but I just believe that these 4 unalivings were done by somebody else. BK could have been involved, but I don't think in the unalivings. Could be easily framed. 4chan makes more sense to me. Why did Jeff Canodal come to fix his daughter's locks? Did the police tell him before the gag order not to say anything? Was there a case, maybe a police case going on? Was one of these students informing the police something? Was someone's life in danger? What was actually going on? Pay attention to the door behind this young woman. Could be Xana That is Dylan Mortison's room, and that is the steps leading to the 3rd floor. You can see it's wooden steps clearly. Is DM trying to say that Brian Koberger did not see her while she was opening her door 3 times? This is baffling. DM needs to come clean. It all took 7 weeks to change their alibis.
Know whether or not Xana had a lock on her bedroom door.
I believe she did, yes.
Do you know if it was a lock that was a code that you would punch in on the bedroom door? The prior tenant who used to live there said that every one of the doors in that home, all 6 bedrooms, were rented separately like apartments, and they all had coded locks. But lots of social media pictures have shown at least one of the locks on the door across from the kitchen on the 2nd floor. It didn't appear to have a coded lock. But do you think that Xana's room had a coded lock?
I believe it did. Her father mentioned to me that he had just let and replaced the lock the weekend before.
If one of the rooms on the 2nd floor doesn't have a coded lock, could it be possible that it was Xana's room that did not have the coded lock? Could that be the reason Xana called her father a week before the unalivings so that he could help her to either fix her locks or install maybe the coded lock? Was Xana hiding it to her father maybe? That she was having issues with someone or some people. Maybe like the Sigma Chi fraternity. But you know how it is when you're in that age of college years. You don't want to be calling mommy or daddy. You'll be thinking like, I can handle this by myself. Maybe this turned out to be ugly. Let's not forget that the prosecutor, Will Thompson, said in the beginning of this case that he believed that the house was the target. And then we had Xana a week earlier, before their demise, may they rest in peace, asking her father to come and help her to change or repair her locks, which he did. And I'm sure that's under gag order. Xana seemed to have a lot of friends and Eaton. DM and BF, Xana, the triplets Hunter Johnson, his girlfriend Emily, were all in the same age and I believe the same college years. I wonder what exculpatory evidence Bethany Funk has. She would have known what happened that night at the Sigma Chi that could have got the couple unalived. I still believe the couple was unalived by the Sigma Chi fraternity boys because of the 4 figures running from Kings Road to the Sigma Chi. Allegedly. Then you have Inan Hush, who knows a lot in this neighborhood. He said he would have come from the sliding door. DM would have heard everything, and so would have BF. And they're busy texting each other. Allegedly, according to what was leaked out by the grand jury. BF has exculpatory evidence according to Brian Christopher Koberger, and he could be lying. But why would he still, if he was lying, he would have cut a deal. He's still pleading not guilty. This is going to be an interesting case. I hope the correct justice is served for the 4 victims. Have a lovely evening.